British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Welcome into your 3:30 news update. I'm your host, Elijah Ford. Prime Minister Mark Carney was in BC today and made a stop in Surrey to meet with senior Mounties and other police leaders to talk about the extortion crisis gripping the region. Carney outlined what the federal government is doing to help, including working with other countries to stop transnational gangs from coming into Canada. He pointed to an announcement by his finance minister in Ontario today detailing new measures to help police tackle organized crime. Police have opened dozens of extortion files just this year in Surrey, many of them involving shootings at homes or businesses. Moving downtown, businesses near the Broadway Street closure say they have seen a significant dip in customers since that construction began. As Braden Coombs reports, some shops have been forced to cut their store hours drastically.
Local businesses have been dealing with the ramifications of the Broadway Street closure for over 3 weeks now. The shutdown of the road between Main Street and Quebec Street came into effect January 26th. Yashna Goul, a manager at Rocket Smoke Shop, says the vape shop will be forced to change their hours from 10 a.m. until 12 a.m. to 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., starting next month. He blames the decline in customers on the safety concerns that come with the construction.
After 6, it just dies down on this sidewalk especially. But it's dark and it's completely closed, so people don't feel safe, I guess. So they don't really use this sidewalk anymore.
The closure of Broadway Street will continue to block off traffic until the end of May, with the construction wrapping up in 2027. Braden Coombs, BCIT News.
Sticking with the downtown food scene, Vancouver food trucks are looking down the barrel of a significant fee increase in 2026. Reporter Andrew Chen has more.
The City of Vancouver is proposing to raise daily special event and permit fees by as much as 25 times compared to the 2025 rates. With the upcoming FIFA event this summer, vendors are concerned for their businesses. Kelly McKenzie, a board member of the Street Food Vancouver Society, spoke to us.
I am a bit disappointed that current, municipal council hasn't been more business friendly because everything's a drawn out process that takes too much time and money and effort. They need to make things easier for our small business to navigate.
McKenzie believes that Vancouver's No Fun City moniker stems from city inactivity.
I've always thought that because we live in such a beautiful place with so much activity at our doorstep, that people are just busy having fun on their own. And so the city sits idle.
Andrew Chen, BCIT News.
The BC government has released its 2026 budget plan, which includes delayed openings for care homes across the Fraser Valley. Families waiting for long-term care may face even longer waits. Our reporter Avia Boulay has more on what this means for seniors and their caregivers.
Senior care facilities and communities across BC are now expected to open later than originally planned. The provincial government says these timing adjustments are part of a review of ongoing long-term care projects to ensure they are delivered properly. Thousands of seniors are currently on waiting lists. Dolores Cruz Flores, who cares for her father, says the delays mean families like hers face more months of juggling work, caregiving, and uncertainty about where their loved ones will live.
When you try to get some subsidized, it's still you have to pay over at least $1,000. The process, you have to put yourself into a waiting list. That can take, from 1.5 to 3 years, depending on the area that you are at.
With these postponed openings, families across the province are left waiting longer while continuing to care for their loved ones at home. Avia Boulay, BCIT News.
British Columbia has also announced plans to spend $50 million over 2 years to improve access to nasal naloxone as part of the province's response to the opioid crisis, which was declared a public health emergency almost a decade ago. Health Minister Josie Osborne says the expansion, which will start to roll out in April, builds on a pilot project dating back to 2024.
60,000 nasal naloxone kits were distributed to post-secondary institutions, community pharmacies, and other public agencies across the province, and we have seen the difference it's made. We've also seen the difference that injectable take-home naloxone can make. Between January 2019 and October 2025, close to 40,000 deaths were averted.
Naloxone is a medication that temporarily reverses an opioid drug poisoning, and experts say nasal naloxone is easy to use. Last Wednesday, BC's Privacy Commissioner released a report alleging that healthcare workers inappropriately accessed the medical records of Lapu tragedy victims. Our reporter Gabrielle Rui delves into why it's important to respect privacy in medical spaces.
The report alleged that half of the victims had their medical records inappropriately accessed by healthcare workers. Complaints of these privacy breaches were filed by various local health authorities. The report stated some of the medical records were accessed multiple times, possibly out of curiosity. BC Privacy Commissioner Michael Harvey spoke about why maintaining trust between patients and healthcare staff is so important.
People have no option if they want to receive the public service, if they need to receive the public service, but to give over their personal information. And so there really needs to be a strong foundation of trust there, or else the whole system will fall apart.
Harvey confirmed that all the healthcare workers involved were met with disciplinary action. Gabrielle Rui, BCIT News.
A U.S. military presence is growing in the Middle East as the U.S. and Iran continue to negotiate over its nuclear program. The U.S. military buildup includes a second aircraft carrier. President Trump said in his remarks at the first Board of Peace meeting today that, quote, now is the time for Iran to join us on a path to peace in the region. Trump later said explicitly that Iran, quote, must make a deal, and said if they don't, bad things will happen. More here from reporter Ann Flattery.
What we're seeing is more than 100 aircraft flowing into the region. That's an extraordinary buildup that we're seeing in just a matter of weeks. And of course, everybody is asking the question, are we headed toward some kind of major military operation like President Trump oversaw last summer when he bombed those Iranian nuclear sites? I would say that many of the assets being put in the region suggest an even larger scale attack.
The former Prince Andrew was arrested and held for hours by British police on suspicion of misconduct in public office related to his links to Jeffrey Epstein. The arrest today was an extraordinary move in a country where authorities once sought to shield the royal family from embarrassment. It was the first time in nearly 4 centuries that a senior British royal was placed under arrest, and it underscored how the deference to the monarchy has eroded in recent years. King Charles III took the unusual step of issuing a statement on the arrest of his brother, saying the law must take its course. The former prince was released about 11 hours after his arrest. Moving to sports, Team Canada lost to Team USA in the gold medal match of the Olympics Women's World Hockey Tournament earlier today. Team USA came into the game as a very heavy 4-1 favorite over Canada after beating the Canadians 5-0 in their preliminary round matchup. The game was a low-scoring affair throughout, with both goaltenders playing phenomenally throughout. Canada opened the scoring early in the second period with a pretty shorthanded goal by Kristen O'Neill off of a world-class pass by Laura Stacey. Canada held on to that 1-0 lead for a very long stretch until U.S. captain Hillary Knight made an unbelievable tip in front of the net to tie the game for the U.S. with 2 minutes left to play, forcing overtime. In that overtime, Canada had their chances, but it was an incredible one-on-one move by Megan Keller, which created a backhand shot opportunity that she made no mistake on, winning the U.S. the gold medal. Canada's underdog performance in this game is being praised across the country. Also on the Olympic docket today, Canada has advanced to the finals of men's curling after defeating the top country in the Olympics so far, Norway, in the semifinals. The match was very close throughout, with Canada holding on to a 3-1 lead for the majority of the contest. Norway sparked a furious rally late to give them an opportunity at a comeback, but Canada was able to shut the door and win the match 5-4. They will now take on Great Britain, who beat Team Switzerland earlier in the day. Canada has also advanced to the semifinals of the Women's Curling Championships after defeating Korea. They will play Sweden in that matchup. With the game today and plenty of events upcoming, plenty of North Americans have an extra browser open at their work computers as the Winter Olympics in Italy start to wind down. Reporter Jim Ryan says viewership is well above the 2022 Olympic Games.
Figures compiled by Nielsen at Adobe Analytics find viewership averaging nearly 24 million viewers across all platforms. That's about 86% larger than the audience for the Beijing Olympics 4 years ago. In-person viewing is strong as well, with about 2 million fans traveling to northern Italy for the Winter Olympics.
Keeping Canadian hockey players in Canada was at the front of mind at the 2026 WHL Prospects game in Langley. As reporter Kayla Bossy-Templeton explains, the event showcased some of hockey's best up-and-coming talent.
The WHL held its inaugural Prospects game at the Langley Events Center on Wednesday. The game was held to keep Canadian players in the WHL and out of the NCAA by having more than 150 NHL scouts at the game. Vancouver Giants head coach Parker Burgess says it's an opportunity for Western League players.
Yeah, I think obviously getting all the top-end draft-eligible players together in one venue, one event, for the scouts to come and get to see them, play and display their talents.
Burgess added that this event will help future players feel like staying in Western Canada means their play will still get noticed by NHL scouts. Caleb Bossy-Templeton, BCIT News.
For the rest of the day, Olympics women's freestyle halfpipe skiing will be in focus. Also, the NBA returns from their All-Star break tonight with 10 games on the slate. Despite the partly sunny conditions today, we are expected to hit our lowest temperatures of the week with a low of -2. Thank you for tuning in to your 3:30 news update. I've been Elijah Ford for BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
I would recommend this program for anyone that isn't sure what kind of job they want in media, because you learn everything from public relations to communications to video editing, like radio, TV. So you do get a lot of experience in all the different fields in media.